Good morning. Today we are on a new topic called exception handling. This exception handling is your unit 4 and it is very important topic. Please read the topic and be familiar with the exception handling. Exception handling. What is an exception? What is an exception? First we'll see what is an exception. Exception. Exception means a problem arises during an execution of an program. See, the exception is nothing but a runtime error. Runtime error. So, what is a runtime error? For example, when we divide a number by a zero, we cannot divide a number by zero. So we will be getting an error. That is nothing but a runtime. So it will be an a runtime error. When a problem arises during the execution of a program, that is called exception. Okay, there will be some abnormal execution of a program. The abnormal execution of program which occurs during the runtime is called an exception. Let us see this exception. See, the first point is that an exception problem that arises during a execution of a program. In other words, an exception is a runtime error. So when a problem occurs in a program is called an exception and it is also known as a runtime error. What happens if a runtime error, if an exception comes in your program? An exception may result in a loss of data or abnormal execution of a program. An exception occurs, you will be losing the data and also there will be an abnormal execution of your program. To handle this particular exceptions, we have a mechanism called exception handling. Exception handling is a mechanism that allows you to take a appropriate action to avoid a runtime error. This exception handling particularly help you to avoid a runtime error. When you get an error, this will be helping you to sort out this error. So in C++ provides the three keywords to handling a exception. To handle this particular exception, there are three keywords in a C++. They are try, throw, catch. Try is nothing but the try block contains statements which may generate an exception. That means a try block in a try block, the statement there will in a try block you'll be having a set of statements. Maybe there is a chance of generating an exception. So that is try. Throw. The second one is throw. When an exception occur in a try block, it is thrown to the catch block using the throw keyword. So when an exception occurs in a try block with the help of throw, this throw will be throwing the exception to the catch. What is in a catch? The catch block defines the action to be taken when an exception occurs. So when some exception has been occurred in the program, with the help of an catch, you will be able to solve the exception. So the try the place where the exception will be generated. Throw the place where it throws the exception to the catch. Catch is the place where you get the solution for the exception. This is nothing but an exception handling. Throwing an exception. Assuming a block with a rise and exception, a method catches an exception using a combination of try and catch keywords. With the combination of try and catch keywords, you will be able to rise an exception. You'll be able to know what the exception has been came in your program. So this is how you'll write the exception program. This is a try block. These are the catch blocks. See in the diagram, you have try, runtime error occur. This is a place where you will be where the uh, uh, exception occur. So this is a place where this is a statement where you generate some error, and with the help of a throw exception object, the throw will be present over here. With the help of throw, you are throwing the exception to the catch block. Okay, with the help of throw, you are throwing exception to the catch block. So this is the particular pattern for throwing an exception. In one exception, in one program, in a you can have a many catch blocks. That is nothing but this is nothing but a multiple catches. We'll see this multiple catches in a later classes. Next is that handling an exception. How you handle an exception? By throwing an exception, catching an exception. What is throwing an exception? Exception can be thrown anywhere in a code block using a throw statement. With the help of a throw statement, throwing exception is nothing but throw a statement in any place wherever the exception has been occurred. It can throw that exception to the catch block. What does catching exception do? Catch block following the try block catches an exception. So always the catch block follows the try block. So where the try block is nothing but where the exception will be occurred. Even we can specify what type of exception we want to catch. Even particularly for the catch exception, you can specify what type of catch you want to catch it. This is handling an exception. Let us see the program for an exception handling. So when you are writing an exception handling programs, particularly you need to include a library called an exception. When you are doing an exception programs, you should do an exception. So these are the libraries you have imported: iostream using namespace std, conio.h, and exception. And first we'll see that division, the double division. See, in the double division, you have a passed two parameters, that is a and b, and open the brace. If if b equal to 0, so you have given if condition over here. If it is 0, it should throw the condition as a division by 0 condition. See, if it is 0, it should be through the condition called division by 0 condition. If it is not 0, it should return to a by b. So it will be calculating. See, once again, I'm explaining. First, we'll start with a double division. We, in a double division, you have passed two parameters, that is a and b. Open the brace, and you have written a condition b equal to 0. If b equal to 0, it will be throwing a condition called division by 0 condition. If b is not equal to 0, it will be written to a divided by a. Suppose, see, if you are giving a as 20 and b as 0, you will be returning the division by 0 condition. Or else if you have given a as 10 and b as 5, you will be getting the 2 as a answer. So this is the how it works. Now we'll see the main function. So here you have declared a function declaration, double division. Int a, int b are the two parameters you have passed in a function declaration, and you opened a brace, and this is a main function. In the main function, you have declared three variables: int x equal to 50, y equal to 0, double z equal to 0. Z is a variable to store the value of an function. Z is a place you can store the value of an function, and you have started a try block. Remember, the exception will be there in the try block only. The try block. See, in the try block, you have opened the brace: z equal to division x comma y. X comma y. Suppose it goes to the division function. You have given a x as 50, y as 0. So this x50 will be taken into x and y0 will be taken into 0. Now we have given 0, so it goes to the throw condition. So in a y we have given 0, so it goes to the throw condition. Then we have given a message that cout z and l. Z and L. The message will be stored in a Z. See the calculation part of which you are doing, that will be stored in the place of an Z. The message and the next you have given a catch constant char star message. Constant is nothing but a generally constant because it is an error. Catch will take that message into consideration because you have given y equal to 0, so it is an error. So the error will be catches that message in a consideration at this particular place. The next you have given c error message and l. That means what the message you are giving for the error. We have learned what is c error also. It executes and error message will be displayed over here. So this is nothing but the C error is also nothing but it's like a print statement. It is like a C out. This is how you will be doing the exception handling program. Nothing but you have passed two parameters A and B. You have thrown exception. If B equal to 0, you will be thrown this exception. If it is not equal to 0, the uh, the problem will be like the solution will be done like a divided by b, so it returns to a divided b. Then we'll start with the function declaration. In the function declaration we have main. In a main you have given three variables x y z. X and y you have mentioned 50 and 0, and you have went to the try block. In the try block you have given z equal to division xy. X is a place you the 50 will be stored, y is a place the 0 will be stored. So you have given y as a 0, b equal to 0, so it definitely throws to the division by 0 condition. This c out is nothing but a z, the print statement. The things which have been calculated will be stored in the place of z. And the catch constant catch star message is nothing but the error catch will be taken message into the consideration. So the error message will be taken into the consideration. We are writing this step. The next is nothing but you are printing an error message. So this is a program for an exception handling. Now we'll see what is a multiple exception. A single try statement can have a multiple catches. So a one try block can have a many catch statements. That one we have seen before. That we have many catch statements. Exception of a particular catch block depends on the type of an exception thrown by a throw keyword. If a throw keyword send an exception, if a throw keyword send an exception um, by a throw keyword. So if throw keyword send an exception of an integer type, catch block with an integer parameter will be executed. This is nothing but see here. This is an syntax. See, this is an try block where an exception will be generated. Set of statements generate an exception, and we have multiple catches. Catch. Catch 1, catch 2, catch 3. So these are the multiple catches. It will be having a various catches, like suppose it can have a int catch, float catch, and char catch. Suppose depending upon the error the catch will be executed. If this particularly this catch is called for an int, this is for a float, this is for a char. If an In a try block, if you get an int as an error, so it directly throws the to the first catch, because the first catch is an integer. This is nothing but a multiple catches. Depending upon a error, the catch will be executed. This is multiple exception. See, a single try statement can have a multiple catch statement. Exception of a particular catch block depends on the type of exception. That means what the depending upon the error, it can throw to the which uh, particular catch block with the help of an throw. Throw always throws the exception, throws the error. If throw keyword sends exception of an integer, catch block with the integer parameter will be executed. See, throw keyword. If throw will be throwing an exception of integer type, the catch block of an integer will be executed. If throw throws an a float type as an exception, the catch block with the float parameter will be executed. This is nothing but a multiple exception. Let us see the program of a multiple exception. And we need to include a package called hash include exception iostream namespace std standard library conio.h. Now we are going for the program int main, and we have declared a as a variable int a, and we are making a cout display purpose print display. Enter 1 2 or a 3 for a int char or a float exception respectively. This is nothing but a print statement. You have given a variable a, so that you are taking that variable as an input, like to read purpose we are taking an a. Now we'll start a try block. In a try block, we have if a is equal to 1, it throws a, throwing a character, throwing a character. In a try block, we have opened a brace. If a equal to 1, it throws small a, which means throwing an integer exception. If else, a equal to 2, it throws an a capital A, which means throwing an a character exception. Else, a equal to 3, that means throwing an a float exception. This is an a try block. If a problem occurs, if an exception occurs in a 1, it will be throwing an integer exception. If exception occurs in 2, it will be throwing a character exception. If a problem occurs in 3, it will be throwing a float exception. Now catching. Now the try block has been completed. Now we are going for a multiple catches. So the first one is that catch int a. That means integer a. So the print statement will be like integer exception caught, and we have closed the brace. Now the second one is character exception. Catch char ch. So the display will be character exception has been caught. And the next one is that catch, this is float f, so that float exception has been caught. So and cout end of the program get ch and written 0. Suppose if you have thrown 1, the 1 is nothing but integer exception, so it goes and starts in the catch block where is the integer exception, so that particular exception will be executed. Suppose you have given 3. Now let us execute this program. This will be your output. Enter 1 2 or 3 for int char float exception respectively. The print statement has been displayed. Now you have to enter whether 1 2 3. If you have entered a 3, so this float exception has been thrown to the catch. So it search for the first one. The first one is integer, so it is not. Second one is character. No, it's not. So the third one is a float exception. So it will be printing a float exception has been caught. So I have given one. The one is nothing but an integer exception. So this is called a multiple exceptions. This is a only you'll be having one try catch, a try block. You can have one try block and many catches you can have, so that according to the error it can check for the catch block. So the next topic after the multiple exception, we have catch all exceptions. Catch all exception means the above example will catch only three types of exception, that are integer, character and double. So in the multiple catches we have given three times catch block. So if an exception occur of a long time, no cache block will be get execute and abnormal program terminate will occur. So if a try block takes a long time, if exception takes for a long time, no cache block will be executed and you will be getting the abnormal program and it will be terminated. Error will be occurred in the example of a multiple. So with the help of a catch-all exception, to avoid this, we can use the catch statement with three dots as a parameter, so that it can handle all type of an exception. So if you want to use one catch, you need to give the catch need to be preceded by three dots parameter. Let us see the program. You will be able to understand. This is a program for catch all exception. In the catch all exception also you have included IO stream, namespace, std, conio.h and exception library. This is a program of same of multiple exception only. Enter main and you have declared a variable a, and see out display is nothing but enter 1, 2 or a 3 for an int, char or a float exception respectively, and you have taken a read on a variable called a, and you have started a try block. Open the brace. If condition, if a equal to 1, throws an a, that is an integer exception. Else if a equal to 2, it throws an a capital A, throwing an a character exception. Else if a equal to 3, it throws an a float exception 4.5. So in whereas in a multiple exception, we have written three catches: catch for a integer, catch for character, catch for a float. Whereas now we have introduced only one catch and we have preceded that catch with three dots. This is a syntax for a catch all exception, catch and three dots. Now you have opened and you have displayed exception occurred. That means it does not specify that this exception has been occurred, that exception has been occurred. It just says that exception has been occurred, and it will be displaying that end of a program get ch and return 0. So you will be getting the output. The print, the first display is that enter 1, 2 or 3 int, char or float exception respectively. So I have given 2 as an output. So it has come exception occurred. If you give 1 or 3 also, you'll be getting exception occur, and you'll be getting a end of a program. In the above program, there is only one catch with a dot statement that will handle any type of an exception. So this particularly this catch can uh, handle any type of an exception. This is called an a catch all exception.